This lovely estate, nestled in the town of Olinda in Melbourne's Dandenong Ranges, covers 10 lush acres, with formal gardens and rambling expanses and plants both native and exotic. Shrouded by big, graceful trees, it's a heady mix of fragrance, colour and natural textures. Welcome to Beechmont. It's the pride and joy of owner Cherie Mariklis Pavlou, and it's not hard to see why. It's like stepping into a fairy tale. Its beauty and diversity provide Cherie with lots of inspiration for her creative craft. Cherie is one of Melbourne's leading florists, and the garden at Beechmont provides not only an abundance of beautiful blooms for her shop, but also a place to connect with the natural world and find new inspiration. So it really was love at first sight.
Sure was. As soon as we walked in those front gates, I was mesmerised.
What does a garden mean to you?
Well, I believe it's like therapy for the soul. You know, coming up to Beechmont, it just inspires me. This is why Beechmont is so magical. Spending a day here, it just really gives you a new lease on life.
Now, you've got the florist, and obviously flowers are mightily important, but it's not just that.
No, we pride ourselves of the unusual. We like to incorporate beautiful big limbs and pieces of unusual branches, which we obviously use in our installation and event work. It's the textures that really send that magic through the floral creations that we do.
Some of the ones do remind me of the old masters. You know, they're big flowering vases filled, chock-a-block filled.
And that's the big trend at the moment, the old Dutch masters look alike. So we do a lot of that sort of work.
How has this garden changed your way of floristry?
It's just being able to access unusual plants. And so by having those different unusual types of floral and foliages, we've been able to accent and create arrangements with that point of difference.
Beautiful.
Eddie Wazbatsky is the head gardener here at Beechmont. He also has a floristry background, so he's a perfect fit for this garden. Your knowledge to do with plants in particular must be a great help to Cherie.
Oh, absolutely. She'll tell me what she wants to pick for the gardens, what we need in the garden. We've planted, for example, hellebores. They're very hard to keep in water. As soon as you pick them, they flop their heads, but there's some new hellebores out. Anna's red and also Molly's white, which are very strong hellebores. And they stand, and so we've put 60 of each, I think, in at some stage. We've planted mass plantings of Daphne, the new Daphne Perfume Princess, which is a bigger flower and more fragrant and you get more flower on it, so we've planted that.
Do you ever disagree?
Yes, we do. Because there's things that we can't grow in the garden that Cherie wants us to grow, and there are things that aren't appropriate for the garden.
This beautiful wall garden used to be a tennis court, and now its formal hedging and classic pond are surrounded by climbing blooms, herbs, clematis and hydrangea. What do you like about this garden?
Oh, what's not to like about it, really? It's absolutely beautiful. Who would have thought a tennis court, they would convert this into a sunken garden? It shows off the most beautiful Kyria. There's Daphne.
And these rhododendrons.
Oh, aren't they? I know. They would have to be my favourite rhododendron. How beautiful are they?
They're really in your face, aren't they?
Gorgeous.
It's a lovely spot. You must love coming to this very part of the garden.
Love it.
You really have got some lovely plants here.
Today I've just picked a few different plants from the garden, which I'm going to show you what a typical garden style vase arrangement looks like.
Excellent, all right.
Okay, so what I've done is I've just half filled that vase, put a bit of bleach, a bit of sugar and vinegar.
Yes, is
that
that
I find that basically helps with providing nutrients for the flowers as well as keeps the water clean. With woody stems, I always like to cut on an angle.
Yes.
And also just to intersect there, so just cut a cross section. So what that does, it enables the actual stem to drink water. Now what I might do is just start threading a little bit of lilac. They have quite unusual shape, so I just like to sort of go with their different shapes and add them in accordingly.
I snuck one in that went over like that, so there we go.
So what I would do next is filter some of these in, okay, because that'll give it a bit of shape. Why don't we put some of these in?
Ranunculus are really good flowers, aren't they? I just think that full petal flower is so beautiful. People go on about roses, but that to me is
the colours are just stunning.
Well, that to me looks just beautiful. I can see why Cherie has fallen in love with Beechmont. You could sit here for hours and hours and just take it all in. So much to see, majestic trees, beautiful flowers and fragrance on every breath. It's quite magical. I think I could fall in love with it too.